All right, so let's talk about concert industry definitions. And these are in alphabetical order and not in order of the show. So, advancing the show. This is usually a telephone call to a promoter from a road manager or vice versa to go over specifics of an upcoming performance. So when an advancing the show or advance the show means that the road manager wants to find out, when's the best time to load in and what's to make sure that the directions are correct. And are there any specifics on crew to help and these kind of things, going over, make sure they have the right price for the performance. They advance, they go over the contract and details, but then they ask questions that aren't in the contract as well. So, how big is the dressing room? Is there water available? Is there a shower available there? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what happens when you advance the show. AF&M, that's the American Federation of Musicians, also known as the Musicians Union. They set minimum wages and working conditions for American artists. The majority of performance contracts are drawn up using the AF&M standard contract format. And they also provide a variety of services to its members, including health insurance, legal aid, and those kind of things. So they have retirement and that kind of deal as well. Sometimes you might be able to hire an artist that is not a member of the Musicians Union, but many times you might be visited by the Musicians Union, making sure that things are okay for their members. An agent is a person who seeks employment for an artist and negotiates performance contracts. So basically, an agent gets the artist the gig. An album, obviously, it's a collection of songs regardless of the format. So it could be on CD, it could be MP3 format, or it could be vinyl, etc. The artist is the music industry contract term for a musician or a performer. ASCAP. ASCAP is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. One of three organizations, and I say that tentatively because there's been a couple new ones that have started up, including Global Rights, which is owned by Irving Azoff, and basically it's all the bands that he manages. But ASCAP is one of three organizations that grants licenses for performances of a giving songwriter or publisher's music. And as a concert promoter, you will need to make sure that either you have a license for ASCAP or a waiver from the artist to not report to ASCAP that they are performing for you. Typically, though, you will need a license from ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. Those are the three organizations in order to have music available to the public. An axe, also known as a musician's instrument, and backline, the instruments and equipment that an artist or bands need to perform live. Backline is usually requested at one-time shows like showcases or special events where equipment is rented. Instruments and everything needed on stage to put on a concert, with the exception of some sound and lights. This includes things like drum kits, bass rigs, amps, maybe a keyboard stand, those kind of things. Backline is easier when you have a lot of bands that come on and off stage within maybe a set, and that way it makes it quicker for the next act to get up and to perform. So many times you might see on the contract writer that the backline is requested, and then at that point they'll tell you what kind of gear they're going to need to make the backline. Bean counters, it's a slang term for those who count the money and keep track of sales. A bill is not something you get at the restaurant. Oh, yeah, it is. But for the concert industry, it's a list of performers on the show. BMI, this is the second of the performing rights organizations, also known as Broadcast Music Incorporated. And it also grants licenses for performance for a given songwriter or publisher's music. And yes, you do need a license from them as well as ASCAP and SESAC. The Bogart-Bacall Syndrome, also known as the Lauren-Bacall Syndrome, it's a condition in which improper vocal techniques while speaking results in gravelly sounding voice. It's awful common for women. Book, well, when we talk about being booked at a club, that's a booking. So when you book a band, for example, a band is booked at a club if they are scheduled to play there. A booking agent, also known as an agent, is the person who solicits the work and schedules performances for entertainments and gets them bookings. A break, an artist is about to break when he or she is on the verge of becoming very well known. This usually happens after some serious radio airplay or publicity is taking place, and the exceptions are high for great sales and visibility. There's also a break between sets sometimes, and artists that are performing like to take a break if the set's too long. So that's something to keep in mind. A business manager, this is someone who keeps track of an artist's finances, usually a CPA who specializes in the entertainment industry. This is different than a personal manager, also known as a talent manager. This is the business manager. A buyer, also known as a talent buyer or purchaser or contract promoter or a promoter in general, makes offers of employment to artists through the artist agent. That's the buyer. Buzz. This is a buzz about a particular band if people are talking about them and saying positive things. As a concert promoter, you want to know what the buzz is about certain artists that you're considering for a performance. Cap, it's a slang term for capacity. So when we're talking about a venue, a lot of times people will say, well, what's the cap? In other words, what's the capacity? And what that means is what's the legal capacity established and determined by the fire department. Capacity, basically the cap, is the number of audience members a concert venue will hold legally. A composite card, usually this is an 8x10 photograph containing images of artists in various looks or angles. These are used to obtain modeling, television ads, and acting gigs, but having one doesn't hurt for live tour auditions as well. Comps. This is a slang term for complimentary tickets. A lot of times people in the industry may ask, any comps? In other words, any complimentary tickets. A concert promoter is someone who makes offers of employment to artists through the artist's agent. A corporate date is a private show an artist plays for a corporation's convention, party, retreat, any function like that. Sometimes they have an annual stockholders meeting, for example, and they hire musicians or performers of some sort to come in and perform. A cover, also known as a cover tune or a cover song, is a song that has been released before by another artist. So it's a song written by another artist other than the one that you might be hiring. So sometimes you may have heard of cover bands, etc. A cover is also known as the price that one must pay at the door to enter a venue. So a cover charge, for example. And a cover band is a band that plays only cover songs. Sometimes a band chooses to cover only one artist. In this case, a band that only performs songs written by the Grateful Dead, for example, would be considered a Grateful Dead cover band. Deadwood, that's a term that means unsold tickets at a concert. They call it Deadwood. A demo is a recording made to demonstrate how a song should sound. Could be done by a songwriter to pitch a song to a recording artist, by an artist to work out of the arrangement or introduction of a song before entering the studio for final recording, or by an artist for use in a promo package to attract labels and talent buyers. Some of the demos that I've gotten are recordings of live performances, And as a talent buyer, I would like to hear the live performance. A door deal. This is a financial arrangement to pay an artist from the proceeds generated by sales at the door. The artist typically would not receive a guarantee with a door deal. A door deal may be structured as a percentage of the admission charge before or after expenses, such as production, security, or certain staff, such as maybe a sound technician or stage manager. Downstage. This is the part of the stage closest to the audience. Draw. Well, a band has a draw if they can generate a live audience at a live concert. On the flip side, a band that doesn't attract an audience has no draw. Emancipated Minor. This is a person under the age of 18 who has been legally declared an adult and is no longer under his or her parents' control. Obtaining emancipated minor status, which gives a minor the legal rights of an adult, is common with teens in the entertainment industry because it enables them to enter into legal agreements such as contracts on their own behalf. Also to work longer hours and to give them control to make financial decisions for themselves. EP, this is an extended play. It's a recording. It's a record containing at least 3 songs. 2 songs per side as usual if it's vinyl, but not as many songs as an LP, which is long play. EPK, electronic press kit, also known as an electronic promo kit. Serves the same purpose as a regular press kit, but is delivered electronically instead of from the United States Postal Service. Equity, slang for actors' equity, the union representing theater actors and stage managers. Fly, to suspend equipment or people above the stage via a system of trusses and cables. Riggers are the crew members in charge of doing this. You may hear the term fly the sound system or fly the lighting system, which is usually done. F.O.H, slang for front of house. Format, type of music or programming on a radio station, such as CHR, that's current hit radio, AOR, album-oriented rock, talk radio, etc. And 2, less commonly, the type of feedback media music is available. So the format might be on CD, it might be on vinyl, it might be an MP3, it depends on the format. F.O.H, front of house. Yes, front of house is the area around the main sound console in the audience portion of the venue. So you might think about where the sound person, a sound technician is, that's the front of house, the audience area of the venue nearest the stage. It's also slang for the crew member who mixes sound for this part of the venue. Gig, a live performance. Headshot, this is a photograph of an artist's face and head. A headliner, one or more artists who are the primary reason why a performance ticket is sold. An artist that plays last at a concert, the more well-known act that a majority of audience goes to see. The house, this is the audience portion of a concert venue. In-ears, these are monitors used by musicians on stage to help them hear the other musicians. Kill seats, sometimes called kills. Concert tickets held from sale until after stage setup for seats expected to be unusable or killed due to the staging elements or the soundboard being in the way. The number of kill seats is usually overestimated, and after the stage is set, any seats not eliminated are put on sale. Those with partially obstructed views are marked as such. In the past, kill seats could often be bought at a venue box office close to the showtime, but the advent of more online ticket sellers have virtually eliminated their availability at the venue. A list. You're on the list. Your name is on the list of people who do not have to pay to get into the show. People who put names on the list includes maybe someone who works at the venue, the artist, the record label, the concert promoter, or the publicist, also known as guest list. The lineup is the bands, or are the bands, that are supposed to play at a particular show together, making up the lineup. Live Nation, a concert promotion company which was spun off from Clear Channel Communications. It is the largest concert promoter in the world. Load in, to move a band's equipment into a performance space, a term used to describe the process of moving equipment into a venue. The opposite, load out. Right, this is when you're done. To move a band's equipment out of a performance space. It's a term used to describe the process of moving equipment out of the venue. A loop. This is a piece of music that is repeated in a song. Sometimes this is done with audio as far as a recording goes, and can be used by musicians who loop their music and add to it as they loop. Manager. This is also the talent manager or the music manager. This is not the business manager. The manager does big picture, long range planning and acts on the artist's behalf. Market. There's a few things that market means. So first of all, it could be the audience, which can be identified through demographic research and or preference analysis. Market could also be a group of buyers or consumers. And sometimes it's slang used for the market city that the artist is marketing to. Market city is the area of a state or country large enough to support an arena or stadium concert, often the capital. Some states and countries have several market cities. Monitor. This is a speaker or an in-ear system that lets musicians hear each other. See also in-ears and wedges. A non-routed date. This is a show that does not fall into the natural path of travel between two other shows that were previously booked. They are usually either private gigs on a night off or a special one night only performance when the artist is on a break from touring. A one sheet. This is a promotion item that provides a picture, bio, and other information on one sheet of paper. Radio stations use these all the time, especially when they're playing a new artist that they don't know. That way the disc jockey can look at it, can talk about the bio of the artist and any other things that they might have on there. An opener, also known as an opening act. It's a term to describe an artist who does not have the draw of a headliner and is used to prime the audience before the headliner's performance. Yes, an opening act. An original. This is original songs, but it's a song not previously recorded by another artist, or it's a song written by the artist who performs it. So it's two different possibilities. O.S.H.A, also known as O.S.H.A, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It's a U.S. government agency that regulates job-related safety and health issues. O.S.H.A's mission is to prevent work-related injuries, illnesses, deaths. The PA, also known as the Public Address System. It delivers sound into the concert venue so that the audience can hear the band. It's also a slang term for production assistant or personal assistant. Paper. Basically, this is a slang for tickets given away to fill seats and to give the appearance of a full concert venue. That's when you paper the house. So papering the house is the act of giving away tickets to fill the seats and to give the appearance of a full concert venue. So the paper is the tickets that you give away, but the papering of the house is is the process of it. A per diem, that's a Latin term. It means money allocated to the artist and each crew member for daily living expenses on the road, per day, per diem. Performing Rights Society, also known as Performing Rights Organization. This is an organization that grants licenses for performances of a given songwriter or publisher's music. Yes, like ASCAP and like BMI and like SESAC. Personal assistant, also known as a PA, assists an artist or executive with day-to-day personal tasks, such as scheduling, travel arrangements, correspondence, picking up dry cleaning, hiring domestic help, coordinating meetings, shopping for gifts or personal necessities, etc. Usually a PA travels with the artist. Personal manager. We talked about manager, music manager, talent manager, personal manager. Yes, they're all pretty much the same. Oversees the big picture, long-range planning, acts on the artist's behalf. Personal managers negotiate contracts, hire and dismiss other agencies and personnel relating to the artist's career, screen offers, and consults with prospective employers. They also review possible material and help the artist with promotion and perform many services. A +1. If you have a +1 and your name is on the list, you can bring one guest to the show with you for free. If you have a -1, neither you nor your friend can get into the show. In fact, you have to eat hot dogs by the street for the performance. I was just kidding. Anyway, a +1 is when you're on the guest list and you have a +1, that means you can come with your guest. All right, a press kit, a professional folio containing your resume and or bio, photograph, CD, list of venues that the artist has performed, press clippings, recommendations, posters, and mementos from concerts, especially those with your name listed or the artist's name listed, lyric samples, and other materials to support the artist's professional viability. A private date. Well, this is a show an artist plays that is not open to the public, such as a wedding, a private party, invitation-only fundraiser, or a corporate convention. Sometimes it's also called a corporate date. Product. This is label speak for CDs, cassettes, vinyl, etc., etc. This is the product record companies are putting out. Retail term for inventory. Production. When we're talking about concerts, this usually means sound and light equipment. It can also include video equipment and monitors. The production manager is the person in charge of technical equipment for the artist or venue, rents the staging and equipment, keeps the mechanical stuff working. Promo package, very similar to a promo kit. It's a package of materials assembled to attract labels or talent buyers. Contents may vary depending on the purpose of the promo package, but typically include a CD of the artist's music, a bio, a photo, press clippings, etc. A promoter is a slang term for a concert promoter. A promoter makes offers of employment through the artist's agent. Promotion manager. This is a person at a radio station in charge of the station's promotions. So as a concert promoter, you'll be dealing with the promotion manager when you're promoting your concert on the radio. A purchaser is someone that we've already discussed, like a concert promoter or talent buyer, makes the offers of employment to the artist through the artist's agent. Pyro. This is a slang term for pyrotechnics. Fireworks or sparkler type effects used at a concert. It does require a highly skilled licensed pyrotechnician. Q. No, not QAnon. It's a rating research product of the Long Island-based research company Marketing Evaluations, used to rate the liability and appeal of various celebrities on TV from a scale of 0 to 50. Good-looking and personable celebrities typically get the highest Q ratings. If you want to know more about it, it's at qscores.com. Reflux. Laryngitis, throat condition caused by acid reflux, in which stomach acid rises to the throat area and causes hoarseness and other throat symptoms. Region. This is label speak or radio speak for a geographic section of the country or world. Resonance. Full, pleasing sound determined by vibration and or echo of tone. The RIAA, also known as the Recording Industry Association of America. This is a trade association that represents the labels and certifies albums as gold, platinum, or diamond. A rider. This could be a personal rider or a technical rider, but typically it's part of the artist's contract that details production requirements and staging for the artist's show. The rider also outlines details pertaining to the care and feeding of the artist and touring personnel. Rig or gear. It's known as the musician's equipment. A rigger. This is a person who works for the tour or the venue who flies the lights and other staging equipment above the stage. A roadie. Dated term for a member of the road crew. In some circles, a derogatory term. When in doubt, use crew member or tech. A road manager. This is the artist representative on the road. He or she works closely with the personal manager. May have many functions depending on the size of the tour. On very large tours, there may be both a tour manager who oversees the entire tour, as well as a road manager who represents the artist in day-to-day activities on the road on behalf of the personal manager. Rotation. This is the frequency of radio or video airplay in a 24-hour period. Heavy rotation is many plays per day. Light rotation is few plays per day. A routed date. This is a show that falls into the natural path of travel between two other shows that were previously booked. A routed date is good for concerts to know about, concert promoters to know about. So if an artist is performing on Wednesday and you see that they're going to be driving through your town to get to another gig on Friday, perhaps you can score a routed date with the agent by securing a performance on that Thursday. Routing. This is the route a tour takes across the country or across the world. Tours are usually routed by the artist's agent with input from the artist's management, usually 6 to 9 months in advance. Most major tours are routed to follow the sun as much as possible in order to avoid weather-related travel problems and ensure best attendance. Warm climates in the winter, cooler climates in the summer. Runners. These are local crew members who run errands during the time the artist is in town. They may shuttle the touring party to and from the airport, the hotel, the venue, and they may be used to go get some extra food or beverages that the artist may require. Runs. This was an Aguilera-esque vocal tricks in which the singer sends each note up and down like a multi-hilled roller coaster. Runs have existed in R&B and gospel music for decades, but were made popular in the mainstream by such artists as Mariah Carey or Christina Aguilera. Scalpers. These are persons who buy tickets with the intent to sell them for a higher amount. Secular music, also known as non-religious music. SESAC. This is the third of the 3 organizations, also known as performing rights organizations in the United States, that grant licenses for performances of a given songwriter or publisher's music. So as a concert promoter in the United States, you have to get a license from all 3 of these, ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. A set is a group of songs performed by an artist. An artist may perform one and then another one and then put a break in between. A set list is a list on which the titles of the songs that an artist performs at a particular concert is written. So typically a set list is given to the sound technician, for example, so he knows what song is coming up. Many artists use their set list on the floor beneath their singing microphone so that they can see what's planned on the set. Set time. This time at which an artist is supposed to begin performing a concert, also known as stage call. Settlement. The completion of paperwork, deduction of expenses, and payment of the artist after the show. Sound and lights. It's a contract term pertaining to stage equipment for sound and lighting needed for a concert. The term is also referred to as production. A sound check. This is a rehearsal before the actual performance that ensures that the sound levels are appropriate at the concert venue. A sound man or a sound woman, sound technician is better. A sound technician is a person who operates the sound production at a performance. The person who is responsible for making a performance sound good. He or she is responsible for setting up their microphones and making sure all the instruments are at the right levels. A split point. This is a point negotiated between the promoter and the agent where percentages of income are split. This point is usually determined after expenses and a reasonable return on investment is made. Stage call. The time the artist is supposed to be starting their performance. Also set call. Stage left. The side of the stage on the artist's left as he or she looks out at the audience from the stage. Stage left is the audience's right as they look at the artist. Stage plot. This is a map where the artist's equipment goes on stage. It's part of the technical rider and given to the stage manager. Stage right, obviously opposite of stage left. This is the side of the stage on the artist's right as he or she looks out at the audience from the stage. Stage right is the audience's left as they look up at the audience. Standing waves. This is an acoustic phenomenon in which a reflected signal intersects the original signal and they're halving or doubling the frequencies in that area. You can hear this by yourself by going into a narrow hallway with hard surfaces on both sides and no thick floor coverings. Clap your hands. The sounds will seem to collide with each other. A talent buyer. We've talked about this already when we talked about a concert promoter or a promoter. He makes offers of employment to artists through the artist agent. Tech, also known as a technician, is a member of the crew, often specializes in one area of production such as lights, pyro, drums, sound, formerly known as a roadie. Technical rider. This is one of the riders, part of the artist contract that details the technical aspects of an artist's production requirements, including the equipment, its placement on the stage, and local personnel needed. Throat coat is a tea popular with professional singers, manufactured by traditional medicinals. You may find this on a rider, personal rider, that the artist requests a throat coat. So that's why it's good to know what it is. Ticket buys. This is a term used for the number of tickets a record label purchases for one of their artist shows. Usually, ticket buys are used as giveaways on the radio. So what happens is that the record company will buy from the concert promoter a set amount of tickets that then they can use to help promote the show. A tour manager, also known as road manager, is the artist representative on the road, works closely with the personal manager, and may have many functions depending on the size of the tour. On very large tours, there may be both a tour manager who oversees the entire tour, as well as a road manager who represents the artist in day-to-day activities on the road on behalf of the personal manager. Upstage, yes, the opposite of downstage. Upstage is the part of the stage farthest from the audience. In a venue, this is a place where a concert is held. Wedges are the wedge-shaped monitors on stage so that performers can hear themselves. And working the door, this is a person who is working the door, collects admission fees. Sometimes the ticket taker or collects the fees to give the ticket to the ticket taker. And that's it for the definitions for the concert.